the miracle of Zamzam, a sacred spring in the heart of the arid Arabian desert, where the golden sands stretch endlessly under a scorching sun, lies a sacred sanctuary revered by millions, the city of Makkah. At the center of this ancient city stands the Kaaba, the holiest site in Islam. Nearby flows a spring that has quenched the thirst of pilgrims for over 4,000 years, a spring born of divine mercy and faith. This is the story of Zamzam, the blessed water that gushed forth from a barren land, a symbol of hope, trust in God, and maternal perseverance. The desert and the divine plan. Long before Makkah became a thriving city and a center of pilgrimage, it was an uninhabited valley, dry and desolate. This was the place where Prophet Abraham, obeying a divine command, brought his wife Hajar, Hagar, and their infant son, Ishmael. Ibrahim had journeyed with them from the land of Canaan, and when they arrived at the barren valley, there was no vegetation, no water, and not a single soul. Then, under God's instruction, Ibrahim left Hajar and Ismail with a small amount of food and water and began to walk away. Hajar, puzzled and anxious, ran after him and asked, "Oh Ibrahim, where are you going? Are you leaving us in this desert where there is no one, nothing?" Ibrahim did not reply, as he was deeply moved by the command he had to fulfill. She repeated her question several times until she finally asked, "Did Allah command you to do this?" Ibrahim nodded silently. At once, her heart found peace. "Then Allah will not let us go to waste," she said with unwavering faith. The test of a mother's faith soon. After Ibrahim had left, the food and water ran out. The desert sun blazed down, and baby Ismail began to cry from thirst and hunger. Hajar's heart was torn. Her child was suffering, and there was nothing around them. No trees, no rivers, not even a breeze. Desperate, she began to search for help or a sign of life. She climbed the nearest hill, Safa, and looked out over the valley. There was nothing but sand. She descended and ran to the next hill, Marwah, hoping to spot a traveler or an animal that might lead her to water. Again, she saw nothing. Driven by love and fear for her child, Hajar ran back and forth between the two hills 7 times, searching and praying. Her determination, courage, and unshakable trust in Allah became a timeless symbol of faith and struggle. Today, her path is reenacted by millions of pilgrims during the Hajj and Umrah in the ritual of Sa'i. The miracle unfolds as Hajar ran. Ismail, now crying and kicking his tiny heels against the ground, lay alone on the hot sand. Suddenly, from beneath his heel, or according to some traditions, where the angel Jibril, Gabriel, struck the earth, a spring of water gushed forth. This was no ordinary spring. The water flowed from the barren desert floor with a clarity and freshness that defied the landscape. It was Zamzam, a miraculous gift from God. Hajar, overjoyed and overwhelmed, rushed to the site. She began gathering the water and building a small barrier around it. As the water continued to flow, she uttered the words Zamzam, which in some interpretations means stop, stop, as she tried to contain it. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, centuries later, would say about this moment, "May Allah have mercy on Hajar. If she had left the water alone, it would have been a flowing stream, but in her effort to preserve the blessing, the spring was confined to a well." A valley transformed. With water now available, the once barren valley became a viable place for settlement. Caravans traveling through the region began to stop at the spring to drink and rest. Eventually, a Yemeni tribe called the Jurhum came and sought permission from Hajar to settle nearby. She agreed, and the tribe respected her and her son. Under their protection, Ismail grew up strong and noble. He learned Arabic and the ways of the desert from the Jurhum tribe. Ibrahim would return periodically, and together, father and son, would later build the Kaaba, the house of Allah, near the site of Zamzam. It was around this structure that the sacred city of Makkah would eventually flourish. The legacy of Zamzam. The water of Zamzam is unlike any other. It has been consumed for over 4 millennia and never runs dry. It is said to possess healing properties and spiritual significance. Pilgrims from all over the world drink from it, take it home, and cherish it as a tangible connection to the divine. Scientific analysis has shown that Zamzam water contains a unique composition of minerals and purity. Yet for believers, it's true. Miracle lies in its origin and purpose. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The water of Zamzam is for whatever it is drunk for." This means that if one drinks it with a sincere intention, whether for healing, strength, or knowledge, God may grant it. Symbolism and spiritual meaning. The story of Zamzam is not just a tale of miraculous water. It is a narrative layered with themes of faith in God. Hajar's trust in Allah, even in isolation and desperation, sets an example of spiritual resilience. Maternal sacrifice. Her tireless running between the hills is a testament to a mother's love and determination. Divine mercy. The spring is a symbol of God's care, not just for Hajar and Ismail, but for all of humanity, human struggle and reward. The Sari ritual captures the idea that effort and faith are always rewarded, even in the most hopeless situations. Zamzam today. Today, the well of Zamzam lies within the Masjid al-Haram, not far from the Kaaba. Pilgrims access it through taps and dispensers, and the water is distributed in millions of containers across the globe. The well itself is about 30 meters deep, and despite the millions who drink from it every year, it continues to provide pure, fresh water, an unceasing miracle in the modern world. Modern pumps and sanitary measures ensure that the water remains accessible while maintaining its sanctity. But beyond the physical structure, Zamzam remains a living symbol of the Islamic values of faith, perseverance, and divine sustenance.